don't carry yesterday. The train always arrived at 3:33 p.m., whether she was ready or not. Sira stood at the edge of the old platform in a town too quiet for its own good, watching the silver engine roll in through a veil of heat and history. Her fingers clenched the strap of her canvas bag, its worn leather damp with sweat. She didn't like coming here, not to this station, not to this town, but she came anyway, because today she was going to let go. A whistle pierced the silence, sharp and strange. The train doors hissed open. Inside, everything looked untouched by time-polished wood paneling, velvet seats, brass fixtures. The train wasn't listed on any schedule. No one else ever got off, and no one except Sira seemed to see it. She stepped aboard, heart hammering. "Back again?" said the conductor, tipping his hat. He had eyes the color of old photographs and a voice like a ticking clock. "One last ride," Sarah replied. The conductor didn't argue. He merely nodded and gestured toward an empty seat. The train began to move not forward, but back. Backward through towns that no longer existed, past gas stations turned ghost lots, through landscapes yellowed with time. The scenery blurred, peeling itself layer by layer until only memory remained. Sarah had discovered the train 6 months ago, when her therapist suggested she confront her past. She'd come home to visit her father's grave and wandered into the station on a whim. That's when she'd first seen it gleaming and impossible. The train, she soon realized, wasn't real in the ordinary sense. It was a memory machine, a vessel built to carry what the mind tried to forget. On board, the passengers didn't move forward in space, they traveled backward in time, to the moments they couldn't escape. That's what the conductor had said. Anyway, "This train doesn't go where you want it to," he told her on the second ride. "It goes where you need it to." The first time, it had taken her to the morning her mother left. The second time, to the night her brother overdosed. The third, to the silent dinner the day after her high school boyfriend crashed his car and everyone blamed her for letting him drive. Each time, she watched herself a shadow in her own story, unable to change anything, forced to feel everything. But today, the conductor had said, would be her final ride. She wasn't sure if that comforted her or not. The train stopped with a soft lurch. The conductor nodded toward the door. "You know the rules." Sarah stepped off into a dusk-drenched scene, her childhood backyard. The air smelled of wet earth and burnt toast. She could hear her younger self, maybe 7 or 8, screaming from inside the house. She knew this moment, the night her dog, Clover, died. The memory hit like a wave. Her mother yelling over the vet on the phone, her father sitting in silence. Sarah holding a limp, small body wrapped in a towel. She turned away. She didn't want to see it again. But the memory had gravity. It pulled at her until she couldn't look away. Until she saw herself kneeling beside Clover, whispering something over and over. "I should have closed the gate. I should have closed the gate." It had taken one moment, one mistake. Sira squeezed her eyes shut. She'd blamed herself for everything since then. That was the problem with memory. It didn't care what you learned later. It only cared what you felt in the moment. Back on the train, the conductor poured her tea. "Same cup, different day," he said. "I thought this was the last one," she said. He sipped thoughtfully. "Depends. You still carrying it?" Sarah didn't answer. The train moved again. Faster this time. The world outside flashed past like lightning. The train groaned, shook, then stilled. Another stop. Another yesterday. This time it was a hospital room. Fluorescent lighting. Machines beeping like anxious metronomes. Her father lay in the bed, thinner than she remembered, his eyes glazed with morphine. Sarah stood beside him, holding his hand. Her real body, not the shadow version. She didn't know how that was possible. He turned to her. "I forgive you," he said. She froze. "What?" "I forgive you," he repeated, "for leaving." This wasn't how the memory had gone. In real life, he died before they made peace. Before she came back from the city, before she could say goodbye. "I didn't get here in time," she whispered. "You were scared," he said gently. "So was I. But fear is not a crime." The monitor flatlined. The room began to fade. Sarah staggered back into her seat. The conductor raised an eyebrow. "What did you learn?" "That I've been punishing myself for things that weren't mine to hold." He nodded. "You're getting closer." "To what?" "To leaving this train. One more stop." This time, she was 17. In a dusty red car, parked on a cliffside overlooking the ocean. Her boyfriend, Casey, was laughing loud and wild. They were drunk on cheap wine and dumb plans. "I dare you to drive," he said. Sarah remembered the way her stomach twisted. "I can't," she'd said. "I've been drinking too." He took the keys anyway. She remembered trying to grab his arm. Remembered the fight, the gravel spinning beneath the tires. She remembered walking away when he didn't listen. And she remembered the crash. It had taken years to believe it wasn't her fault. But she never really felt it until now. In the memory, Casey turned to her a version of him she'd never seen before. "I'm sorry," he said. Then, "It wasn't your job to save me." Back on the train, the lights dimmed. The conductor stood beside her. "You visited your ghosts," he said, "but you're still carrying them." Sarah gritted her teeth. "I don't know how to let go." He placed a hand over her heart. "Then leave them here." He gestured toward a door she'd never seen before. Small, brass-handled, pulsing with warm light. "Inside is the last yesterday," he said. "The one you're most afraid of." She hesitated, and then she opened it. A bedroom. Hers. Present day. Rain tapped the windows. Her suitcase lay open on the bed, half packed. She stepped inside. Her mirror reflected a version of herself. Tired, grieving, hardened by loss. Eyes dimmed by years of regret. "Is this how you want to live?" The mirror self-asked. "No," she whispered. "Then stop carrying what's already gone." Sarah reached into the suitcase, pulled out photos, journals, old letters. She placed each one on the floor, then lit a match. One by one, she watched the past burn. Not erased, just released. The train slowed. Outside, the sun was rising. The conductor tipped his hat. "No more yesterdays, Miss Sarah." She stepped onto the platform. The world looked the same, but she felt different. Lighter. As the train vanished into the light, she turned toward the town, toward Nell. Sarah now runs a writing workshop in the same town she tried to leave behind. Each week, people gather in the old train station, sharing stories they've never told aloud. They don't talk about the train, not directly, but everyone seems to understand what it means to hold on too long and what it costs. Above the door hangs a wooden plaque. It reads, "Don't carry yesterday." Not because the past doesn't matter, but because you matter more.